Hello everyone, welcome to the second lecture of Parallelogram Method. Today we have a similar kind of problem as we had yesterday. There is a hook and then there are two cables attached to it. The first cable is on the X plane making a 0 degree and it is of 60 Newton. It is having the first force will be of 60 Newton, and then there is a second cable which is making a 120 degree angle with the first one and it is of 80 Newton. What we need to do, we need to find out the magnitude of the resultant force, and we also need to find out its counterclockwise angle from the x-axis. So what will be the counterclockwise direction? This will be the direction. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to save my time and trace the diagram back to this point. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to trace it to the 0. So this way, so this way I have the diagram ready. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to trace the parallel lines. So this is the axis. X plane and Y plane. What we are going to do is we are going to trace the first line, which is of F2. So I am going to trace it like a projectile. Let me do it again. And this line goes from here. So these both lines are intersecting at this point. So what we are saying that if this is F2 and this is F1, so this line is parallel to this one, so this will also be F1, which will be of 60 Newton. And similarly, if this line is parallel to this one, then this will be of 80 Newton and we can call it F2. So the resultant force, which I am going to show with the black line, would surely fall in between them, and we have to find it out. And we also need to find out the pi, which will be the direction from the x-axis. So what I am going to do, I am going to take this side first. I need to calculate the angles. So if this is 120 degree, then this is also 120 degree. And now for this side and this side, what I am going to do, we know that the total angle in a parallelogram is of 360 degree. What we need to do, we need to subtract these both from it. So we will put the equation like this, and then we are going to divide it with the 2. So when we will divide it with the 2, we will have angle for the one side. So this will be minus 240 divided by 2, so it will be 120 divided by 2, we will have 60 degree. So 60 degree from this side and 60 degree from this side. Now I am going to take this triangle and take it off over here. So what I am going to do, I am going to just simply trace it. So this one is F1, which is of 60 Newton. This is of F2, which is of 80 Newton, and this is Fr, which we need to find out. And if I call this A, and this is as B, and this one as C, so what will happen? That this angle will become alpha, this will be beta, opposite to B, and opposite to C will be gamma. We know the gamma value, which is of 60 degree. We don't know these two values, but what we need is Fr, magnitude of Fr, and then we need this beta, which is equal to our pi. So what we are going to do, we are going to apply cosine law. So this will be C is equal to a square plus b square minus 2ab cosine gamma. We know we call C as Fr, so and A is F1, so we will update the formula. 2 into F1, F2 cosine gamma. What we are going to do now is put the values over here. So this will be 60 square plus 80 square minus 2 into 60 into 80 and cosine 60 degree, which is our gamma value. When we solve it, the resultant answer shall be 72.11 Newton, which we can say is equivalent to 72 Newton. Now what we are going to do, we need to find this high value. So what we are going to apply, we are applying sine law. So what does the sine law state? We already have covered it. A upon sine alpha is equal to B upon sine beta, which is equal to C upon sine gamma. And in our case, in this one is F1 upon sine alpha is equal to F2 upon sine beta, Fr upon sine gamma. I have this value, and this value. I need to find this value, beta over here. So what I am going to do, I am going to extract this one from here. So if I write it down, I can write it like this. F2 is upon sine beta is equal to Fr upon sine gamma. When we are solving it for beta. So beta will go over there and Fr will come over here, and sine gamma is here in division. It will go into multiplication over there. So we will have value like this. Sine gamma goes in multiplication, and we have F2 upon Fr, which is equal to sine beta. So when the sine will go on that side, it will get inverse. So we will have equation like this. Sine inverse of F2 upon Fr multiplied by sine gamma. So we are going to put our values in this equation. So beta will be equal to sine inverse F2, we know that is of 80. F1, Fr is of 72.11, and it will be multiplied by sine. The gamma value is 60 degree. So when we solve it, the sine inverse, we will have a value over here 0.9539. And when we solve the beta, the answer will be 72.53 degrees, which will be equal to, which is equivalent to 72.5 degrees. So we have the values, and we know this angle, that is 72.5 degrees. Answer.